Brilliant Minutes, sponsored by Sinclair Heating and Cooling for 24/7 comfort on call.
Well, hello, Brad.
Greetings.
You set us up with this tremendous tease yesterday. Lay it on us.
Well, I really like this story because there was really no motivation other than a scientist who was a little curious, and he makes this discovery.
Be curious.
Okay, right. So, Neosporin is just one of many over-the-counter antibacterial ointments. It's a topical. It's not like something you swallow that's systemic in your body. But even though some bacteria built up a little bit of a resistance to it, it's still a pretty reliable treatment for cuts and scrapes and things like that. It's been around for 70 years, not Neosporin, but this particular ingredient, this bacitracin, okay? But notice that there's a bunch of chemicals in this particular product, but bacitracin is what we're going to talk about today, okay? So the study...
I've already learned something. As a kid, I always called it bacitracin.
Okay, well, here you go. This is from the Netherlands, okay? How to make an old antibiotic 100 times more potent. So this guy has just had, he's a chemist by trade. He's just always had an interest in these topical antibacterial type of treatments, okay? So the way that this bacitracin works is it's sort of a 5-pointed crystalline molecule. And it's these little points that somehow prevent the bacteria from building their outer cell walls so they can grow. That's how it works, okay? And he's thinking, you know, this is 70 years old. Is there some way with today's technology that we might be able to grow those little 5 fingers longer and stickier so that you could attack bacteria more effectively? And it works. His new version is 10 to 100 times more potent, depending on what bacteria you're looking at. But, you know, that's exciting in and of itself. But as he points out, you know, the real winner here is bacteria-resistant, or, you know, drug-resistant bacteria that are out there, where this is going to be something they've never seen before now. It'll say, hey, it looks familiar, but I know what it does. It's
going to tilt the playing field back towards the antibiotics.
Correct. So it's a fun story. It's an interesting story. And this next story is sort of just one of those kind of off-the-cuff interesting things about human behavior, okay? It all has to do with where you keep your thermostat at home.
Very relative for the last week or so.
Yes, definitely. So in this study, and they looked at about 1,200 individuals, the temperature of the house you grew up in may still be impacting you as to where you want to keep your thermostat in your house, okay? And it says that even when controlling for race, education, income, geographic mobility, individuals who grew up in warmer homes tend to maintain higher thermostat settings in their current homes. So it's an interesting thing, but of course there's a little bit of a motivation why they did this. And they said, you know, childhood habits are, they're difficult to change, you know, but such habits are maybe wasting energy and costing more money to your utility bill.
Now you have to pay for it, not your parents.
Right. You're right. By the way, 11% of U.S. energy consumption is used for household heating and cooling, and that's not too surprising since there's not much of the country in a sweet zone where you're not using much of one or the other. So just some interesting thoughts there.
Apparently I grew up in an igloo. Thank you, Brad. Always learning something. So